Hello, time travelers. Welcome to the Aging Journey podcast, an actual play podcast where we go back in time and play RP games themed around time and growing up in a variety of systems. I am your game master, Tanya, and this is The Red Bridge, a children's fantasy adventure using the Kids on Bikes system inspired by works such as The Phantom Tollbooth, Alice in Wonderland, Jumanji, and The Wizard of Oz. We are playing Kids on Bikes, a tabletop role-playing game that allows players to explore a mysterious and supernatural world set in a small town during the 1980s and 90s. Our players embody characteristics called tropes and roll dice based on their brains, brawn, fight, flight, charm, and grit. The higher the stat, the better their skill. Each player has a top stat where they roll a d20 and a bottom stat where they roll a d4. In this game, dice explode, where if you roll the maximum on a die, you get to roll again, infinitum. Our players for this campaign were made from scratch, and tropes are custom. There may be mature content depicted in our gameplay, but the players and I are using safety tools, and all content warnings will be in the description below. You can listen to the audio of the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or the Aging Journey website, or watch it on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, or support us on Patreon. All links will be in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Well, I think that wraps up the spiel. Enjoy the journey.
He's surrounded by people who, for some reason, love crab apples. So Willow, you are going to try and find the games. I'm going to say you actually come with, you do come with your dad, but unfortunately he's not able to stay. He sort of comes with you to like the entrance and he's like, "So sorry, sweetie. I actually did pick up another shift today. I know I promised I would come with you, but I'm totally available tomorrow. So we're gonna have so much fun tomorrow. But today, I'm gonna have to leave you with your Aunt Hildy. Is that okay?"
Willow'd kind of just like look at him, a little betrayed, but just a nod, just like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, sweetie. Well, remember, we're gonna have so much fun tomorrow, but I will see you later. And he leaves to go to his third job, somewhere. Who knows? His jobs change kind of frequently sometimes. Willow, you are now standing on your own, and you are needing to find Aunt Hildy, who you know is already here because she is a crabapple fanatic herself. And so she, likes to come before they open to be like one of the first ones. She's one of those people. So she's already here. You just have to find her. Jimmy, what are you looking for again when you come?
Anyone he recognizes, and he would also try and migrate towards the train, because out of everything, that's the most interesting thing here.
Okay. I think you all are pretty familiar with the layout of the Crabapple Festival. It is the same every year, pretty much. So I will say that your meeting place makes sense to be the train. So I'll say that you all have decided to, once you're done with your immediate things, you will all congregate to the train and you'll find each other. So Jimmy, you have no interest in eating anything or partaking in any of the crabapple festivities, but you do love the train, and you guys are meeting there anyway, so you make your way there. So let's kick off with everyone doing their own thing separately and then making the decision to come together at the train, except of course Willow, because you need to first find Aunt Hildy. Where do you think Aunt Hildy will be?
The first place that she would probably look towards, probably wouldn't go near, is the little adult area where they have the alcoholic beverages.
Oh yeah. She's 100%. It is 10 a.m. and she's 100% in the adult area. Willow, you approach there's like a little, velvet rope where some of the adults are like going into this little section. You can see inside because there's not like walls or anything, but you can see that it says, adults only, or 18 plus or 21 plus or whatever the age is that they have it at the festival, that you can actually just go past this section. And inside you can kind of see that there are like booths, and you can smell kind of like crab apple, but it's like bad smelling. It smells like crab apples have gone bad in this section. And you're just like, ugh. And there you indeed do see your Aunt Hildy. She is double fisting handfuls of crab apples. She has a candied crab apple that's actually like been stuck to a beautiful red flared dress. It's kind of like hanging there from the stick that I think she hasn't noticed. She has like cherry red kitten heels and she also is wearing kind of a halter type, which is, fairly fitted. It's a spandex black. Aunt Hildy is your dad's older sister, but she likes to, look her best at all occasions. She has kind of like curly brown hair that's kind of a mess because it's in a bit of a ponytail, but not really a ponytail. It's like clipped back kind of hastily. She's a very attractive, deep tan skinned woman, and she has a wide smile on her face as she is talking with someone, but she noticed you right away. As she turns to greet you and walk towards you, you can see that she's also wearing like plastic beaded necklace that, of course, are in the shape of apples. And she's also wearing apple earrings. If you have not guessed, yes, Aunt Hildy is essentially Mrs. Frizzle.
Time to find the bus.
She comes up to you and comes out of the adult area, just finishing her batch of crab apples, and she smiles down at you. Aunt Hildy, for everybody, is considered to be everyone's aunt. She's kind of known, particularly for your group of friends. She's known you all since before you were born. She's known like your mothers. She reminds you every time that she wants you to call her Aunt Hildy, especially if you try to call her anything else but Aunt Hildy. So she's just a very warm and open type of person, and she is extremely excited to see you, Willow, as she comes to greet you. Willow, have you had an apple, darling?
Not yet today, but you seem to have one stuck right there. She kind of like puts at the candy apple that's stuck to her dress.
Oh, she grabs it and hands it to you. There you are, sweetheart. That is as fresh as it's going to get around here.
She like takes it, stares at it, and just gives her thumbs up. Okay.
What are we doing? Where are we going? Ferris wheel? Cotton candy? Do you want to go see the train? What are you thinking?
We could probably look at the other stuff later, but I was planning on meeting my friends at the train, so we could probably go there first.
Oh, of course. Friends come first. Totally understand that. And she turns around to just wave goodbye to whoever she was talking to and begins to escort you to the train. We are now at the train. As you all are standing around the train and finding one another, Jimmy, you have been there for quite some time. Are you in line, or are you just kind of on the sideline?
Kind of on the sidelines.
Okay. You see the line has been moving fairly quickly. People have been going in. People have been coming out. Like, the route, essentially. They kind of go in, they touch stuff, they go, ooh, it's mostly tourists. Most of the locals don't necessarily nowadays go into the train unless they have like young kids that are going in that maybe haven't gone before. This is something that comes out every year. So it's still beautiful to look at, but it doesn't have the same oomph after like the first couple of times you've gone into it. As you are standing there waiting for everyone, and you can kind of start to see everyone filter in, Caleb and Juke come after signing their names up. You see Willow and Hildy coming. You start to see everyone. You also see someone standing right underneath a particularly large and beautifully blooming crab apple tree that's on the other side of the stage, and essentially it's kind of flanking the Eldera, which is the train. So as the train's in the center, the stage is kind of to the left of the center, and then to the right is this really nice, beautiful big tree. And standing underneath that tree, as you're kind of just letting your eyes scan around, is Miss Valdelia. She is known as Valdelia Shady, and you all know, just based off of what people have told you in the town, that it is her family who kind of didn't really found this town because it was kind of already here, but they essentially made Shady Creek what it is today, many, many years ago. She also owns the restaurant here in town that is quite famous for their crab apple pies. She is a tall Black woman who has long dreadlocks that are usually artfully arranged on top of her head and have sort of silver shining ornaments that shine from her hair. She has slim, dark brown eyes and pretty well manicured nails. She's also holding a black ornate fan. And she's not the only person. There are a couple of women that are holding fans because it is a nice, beautiful summer day, but it's a little warm if you're wearing, a lot of clothing. So they do sell fans here that are all manner of colors, but Valdelia prefers black. And it's very ornate. It has some lace on it as well. And she's sort of slowly fanning herself. She's wearing a black fitted summer dress with lace that trims the bottom. And it also drapes all the way down to the ground. And she is standing there underneath the shade, just sort of looking out into the crowd.
I think Jimmy clocks it, but doesn't really acknowledge her. Mm-hmm. The whole festival, it's never something he's enjoyed, but nowadays it also brings up some good, bad memories. So he's just kind of sitting a little glum, waiting for his friends to show up.
Yeah. She doesn't really look in your direction either. She's sort of just casting her eye around. As you all finally come together in front of the Eldera, what do you all want to do?
I think I'm probably really uncomfortable about the train in general. Kind of serious mixed feelings going on right now, but Helen wants to see it, so I'm I guess walking along with Caleb, but I'm going to take her up to look at the train.
Okay.
Is the whole group going to the train or just Juke with Helen?
I think we're all gathering together there, right?
Yes. So you're all just gathering there. You don't have to go to the train, but you're gathering at the train area.
I'd say Jimmy's sitting at a table nearby the train.
Yeah, Caleb will head over there. Why not?
I'm definitely on alert because I don't want Willow to tackle me again.
You all meet together. I will say that at this point, when you come over to Jimmy, you also see Miss Valdelia. She's standing there in the underneath the tree. You all are just kind of, I would say you're just kind of meeting each other and maybe chatting, just looking around at the festivities that's happening and waiting for Juke to come back from being out of the train with Helen. So Juke, you have to get in line with Helen and, go up to the train and do the whole walk around. That's done. You've done this, a couple of times before, but she still gets really excited. So she's very happy inside of the train, touching things she's not supposed to be touching, but you don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you guys come back off the train, and she's very excited. I will say at this point, she's probably wanting maybe something to drink or maybe something to eat. And so you guys can decide to, just make the rounds for the festival, make a big old circle, go to maybe some of your favorite places, go to some places that, or go eat. I will say you guys have been here now for about an hour, and you can start to see where you all are sitting that the crowd in front of the stage is getting bigger. So there's something about to happen. There is like a schedule, there's like a little kiosk that shows you what's happening today. But if none of you are interested in like looking at it, you might not know the schedule of what's going on the stage. I think Jimmy and Juke, while you guys are over there, you probably saw that there's going to be a speech from the president of the Harvest Festival Planning Committee that will be in a couple minutes. So as you guys stand there, what do you want to do? Make decisions on what you'd like to do at the festival together.
Well, what do you guys want to do?
Caleb wants to drag Willow along to grab snacks. And then, okay, so there's this game that I've seen like on different videos. It's like trade up or something, where Caleb starts out with something and he's going to go and see if he can trade up for it. And he's going to take that thing and he's going to trade up for it and see how big of a prize he can get just off of a little prize he probably won from an arcade game.
Okay, so Caleb's going to try to fleece the games at the festival. That makes sense.
It's so much better when you say it how it actually is.
So Juke and Jimmy were friends for a while, up until about a year ago. So I'm curious what Jimmy's relationship with Helen is. So Helen's 7, my 7-year-old sister. You certainly would have like met her.
Oh yeah.
I think he's still fine. He still likes Helen. I think he's fine with her. He doesn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think you had beef with her or anything, but like,
I do think because, well, let me make that decision right now as I am the one that plays Helen. I will say that Helen doesn't necessarily have the same level of imagination probably children her age would have, mostly because she has 2 older siblings. So, imagination is often dampened when you have 2 older siblings.
You broke your sister.
However, she really admires like older kids, because when you're younger, a lot of times when you look at older kids, you're like, wow, that's so cool. So I think if at one point she was able to kind of like meet all of your friends, I don't think she would quite understand that you weren't friends with them anymore, or that your relationship with them had been tampered in some way. Like she would see everyone and just be like, yeah, these are all Juke's friends, like obviously. So, they're trustworthy and fun. So yeah, I think she would still, like hug everybody. She'd be like, Jimmy and Caleb and Willow. And you guys probably are a bit spoiling her, just giving her random things that she probably doesn't need. Yeah, I think it's that type of situation. So you all are deciding so Caleb is going to try and fleece the games. And Willow is going to kind of come with you to grab some snacks and bring back to the group? Or do you guys want to move from this area? Because the center area is very busy. It's very loud. It's very busy. So you might want to move, either further where the stage is, like back, like where Miss Fidea is, like in the back area. Because everyone is starting to congregate in this area because there's about to be somebody on stage.
Jimmy will just go wherever the group goes.
All right. Who's making the decision?
I'll be kind of like hanging on the periphery of the group, like kind of wandering off while Helen wants to go see something and wander back, and kind of like half part of the group. Yeah.
Okay. I will say that you guys are just kind of making your way in the big old circle, which is essentially what the park is. It's a huge circle. of paths and booths and things like that. You're just going to make your way around, have fun. It is a 4-day festival because they're having like different stuff every day. But in general, the layout stays the same and the booths stay the same. There's just going to be like other stuff on the stage. As you all are walking like further into the festival area, there are a couple of people with you, but most people are going the opposite. Most people are going the opposite direction. They're going towards the stage and towards the Aldera. So by the time you guys get to like the end or the where the Ferris wheel is, the last people are coming off the Ferris wheel and kind of making their way to the front to the stage. So what do you guys want to do at the Ferris wheel?
You guys want to ride the Ferris wheel?
I don't know. That's about the best answer I got. What other rides are there, or what other games are there too?
So you have already made your rounds around the game, and you have done your trading up. And I'll say at the moment you have one of those ridiculously large bears. They're like way too big for no
that's the best. Caleb just puts it on Willow's shoulders so that she could give it a piggyback ride.
Yeah.
There you go. Enjoy, Goober.
And she just like holds it there and just like occasionally like flip it over her head to hit Caleb with it.
The Ferris wheel is the biggest ride here. So you can either get on the Ferris wheel or you can pass the Ferris wheel and continue the circuit. So there's like food and games and stuff on one side, the Ferris wheel at the end, and then you can finish the circuit to come back up to the stage. It's whatever you guys want to do.
Caleb will try the Ferris wheel. Why not? And I'll almost fall out of my chair. Totally professional.
Don't fall off the Ferris wheel now, too.
What? Caleb would never. Whoops.
Okay. You all get up to the Ferris wheel, and Helen's, of course, very excited. She loves the Ferris wheel. And there is a ticket guy there. The entire, festival is technically free. And then there are some rides that you are supposed to have a ticket for that you pay for out of tokens. So yeah, he is there. And everyone is coming off, and he kind of looks at you guys. Do you have tickets?
Where did Aunt Hildy go? I like left for a second, so I don't know what happened to her.
Aunt Hildy, where is Aunt Hildy? I will say that she went with you to the Aldera. And I will say that she noticed Valdea, and she just kind of gravitated towards her to chat with her. And she told you to just meet her back up at the stage when you were done with your friends. I'll say she gave you a bunch of tickets because of course she would have some.
Hell yeah.
All right, well then Willow's paying for them. It's like, all right, I got tickets here.
Oh, sick.
But of course, she'll like save like 2 for her and Aunt Hildy.
Yeah. The guy takes the tickets, but he also kind of looks at you guys and is like, y'all don't want to go back up to the front. There's about to be the thing where there's like with the guy, he does like a speech. This is like a 16-year-old kid who
Caleb's just kind of like eye him like, nah, we're good, man. Just let us onto the Ferris wheel.
And he's like, I mean, all right, it's whatever.
How's minimum wage?
Like, there's plenty of people there to hear him. If he wants us to hear, he can shout, and we'll hear him from the top of this Ferris wheel.
He's like, all right. He opens up the gate, and you guys go in, and he presses the button. you guys, as you go onto the Ferris wheel, and this is a Ferris wheel where there is, it's not a 2-seater, it's a 4-seater. So 4 of you can get on at a time, and Helen is small enough to kind of just sit in between you all. So you all get in one, and you go around. It's quite nice. It's nice and silent. And you, even though as you guys go up, you can't really hear exactly what the person is saying, you can clearly see people on stage and you can hear like clapping, like it's really loud. Like there's a lot of people clapping. So as you guys get up to the top of the Ferris wheel and start to look out into the festival, you notice that there's a huge congregation of people. There are literally everyone is at the stage, and on the stage is someone wearing what looks like a bit of a cream suit. Is a man with a cream suit, and you all would probably recognize this as the president of the planning committee. So he's about to do his speech. And the crowd is roaring. It almost from afar kind of looks like it's like a concert. Like people are way into this guy, and you're all just kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's weird. But it's a nice little roundabout that you guys go. It's an enjoyable ride, and you are all able to just chill and enjoy each other's company. Haven't been this calm and this just having a good time in the last couple of months together. Anything you guys want to do inside as you're all just chilling?
Caleb's causing chaos by jabbing Willow in the sides. No peace. Not allowed.
I should just be trying to rock the little thing they're in,
Of course.
protesting.
If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
Exactly. She'll make this whole entire seat fall if you keep jabbing her.
Don't do that, because I'll go down with you too.
You know what? I'm doubling down. Caleb's gonna try to rock it too.
Juke and Jimmy, what are you guys doing as you see this chaos happening?
Jimmy's just trying to ignore it.
What's Helen's reaction to it?
Oh, Helen's having a blast.
Okay. If she was scared, I would try to stop them, but I'll just hang out.
She's having a grand time while their lives are being risked.
Exactly.
Caleb just rocking this.
Come on, if we all do it, we can do a flip.
He's like, do a flip.
Do a flip.
I can do a flip. Watch me.
The car that you're all in is rocking and shaking. And if someone had been paying attention, they probably would have been yelling up at you guys to stop it. But by the time your car gets back down to the bottom, you realize that the boy that let you in is not there. But it does stop, and you're all able to get off.
Guess they had to take a pee break.
Yes. Where to next?
Oh, not the stage. They're all doing talks.
Just trying to figure out where we're going next.
Food?
Oh, no.
Come on, Jimmy. Don't you want a crab apple?
No, this is devil food. This is the 1 week a year where everybody loses their minds.
And we have Helen go through the list of all of the crabapple foods that she likes and ask Jimmy individually each one if he likes them.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And then she gets to one that you don't recognize. What about a crab apple daiquiri?
What's a daiquiri? Daggery?
Degree? A crab apple degree?
Dagger made out of crab
Do
apple?
you stab someone with that? That's terrible.
Crab apples are already pretty deadly. Imagine turning them into a weapon.
Yeah, and people eat them.
It's to build iron, okay?
It's losers.
You are a bit confused of the daggers that she's referring to, but she does say that on the list is a crabapple daiquiri and a crabapple sunrise and a crabapple old fashioned. She's gotten to the alcoholic section.
I promise, my last time interrupting, you got the crabapple sunshine, you got the crabapple daiquiri, you got the crabapple late afternoon, you got the crabapple honey and dip.
It's quite a selection.
She's just looking at her shopping list and accidentally getting two words connected together.
And so what you can do is you can continue the circuit or you can go back, but you guys are already at the end of the end of the festival hall, or like the park. You're at the end of the park.
Do we want to just see what they're talking about, or?
We'll probably just like look at the stage, see if like someone's talking.
So on the ground, you can't even see the stage. You can see the congregation of people near the Aldera, which is in the center of the park. And it's a little lessened now because everyone has gone to the stage. But from where you guys are, you can hear the person's voice. He has a deep voice. And he's on, it's being projected. You just can't hear every single word he's saying.
I think he's speeching.
Speeching?
He's speeching it up there.
As you guys kind of are standing there figuring out what to do, you also notice that everyone has gone up to the stage. So there are no attendants at the games anymore right now.
Theft?
Yes! That's what Caleb likes to hear.
This is revenge.
Okay. So you all continue the circuit, being the only people out here, out on the back of the side, and you're heading back up towards the stage area, the center area, but on the other side, where you haven't hit those games yet. And you can do whatever you want. What are you guys doing with the games and the food? And you have free reign.
Ooh.
Will's gonna just try and like play the games.
Come on. I bet you that you couldn't hit any of these. And he just like points over to like to a clearly rigged game where the balls are stacked up on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Crab apples are stacked up on top of each other.
Oh God, crap apples are being thrown.
You all are causing absolute chaos, as you want to do. Literally playing the games yourselves, with Caleb as the attendant. You're having a grand old time. Helen is having a great time. She kind of slides underneath one of the table skirts of a crab apple like slushy machine, and she literally like sticks her head under the slushy machine and turns it on.
Don't do that.
Lets the slushy into her mouth, and now she is, obviously because it's a slushy machine that she's turned on over her head, now she's covered in a sticky syrup and cold slushy, but she doesn't care. She is at this point the height of sugar. It's in her.
Hell yeah.
And she is running loose. So she's having a good old time.
Jimmy is just completely disgusted by the consumption of crab apples.
I was just like looking around for her. I was like, anybody seen a hose around? I think we need to just help clean her up. Just like get a hose, spray her down.
There's a dunk tank over there.
You guys gonna put Helen in the dunk tank?
Hey Helen, you want to play this game with me?
She's so excited. She's like, yeah. She gets up on the dunk tank. Who wants to try and dunk her?
We're just gonna she's gonna grab like one of her own personal baseballs out her bag and be like, all right,
Don't miss, Uber.
Anyone else want to try first?
Juke, can Helen swim?
Yeah, totally. Well enough.
Okay. This is a dunk tank, so she should be able to get it to the bottom and stand up. She is short, but hopefully she'll be able to kind of paddle.
We're the sort of family who like puts people in swim lessons and
okay. So yeah, this is all happening. You guys are literally having so much fun just running the festival on this part of the section because it's kind of abandoned. Willow,
we are the runners of the festival now.
You are the run now. That is canon. We used to say that. Everything can't be canon. So Willow, you throw a ball, and I mean you're very good at sports. You hit it first time, and Helen goes wee and gets dunked and splashes into the water, pops back up, and she's now wet.
Yeah, realizing at this point that probably wasn't the best course of action.
Well, at least she ain't gonna be sticky anymore from the slushy.
She climbs out, sopping wet. Her hair kind of over her eyes, and she's sort of like pushing it back, and she's like, "That was fun."
You want to do it again?
Yeah. And so she goes back up.
I'm gonna give the ball to Jimmy. Just like, don't hit her in the face.
I take the ball and then just walk up and push the lever.
Once again, she goes wee, and down she goes into the water.
Caleb, you should get in there.
Absolutely.
In this second splash, as you all are laughing and she's coming up to the surface again, you all realize you haven't really been paying attention, but now that you are helping, her out again, the crowd that was going wild is now quite silent.
Looks like the president told a bad joke.
All crab apples are a bad joke.
Jimmy, as you're standing there, you catch a whiff of something. It's sort of a smell that you recognize, and it's coming from the stage in the center area. It smells like rancid apple.
Ugh. You guys smell that?
Do we smell it?
Once Jimmy points it out, you all do start to smell something that was not there before. It still smells appley, but it smells wrong, like rotting.
Didn't Hildy bring the punch bowl from the adult section to the stage?
I could see her doing that.
Is there a tree or some kind of stand that Caleb can climb up to get a better view of the stage?
Mm-hmm. I would say where you all are, there's a couple of games, and then there's one where you're at the dunk tank, obviously. So if you step where, like, higher up where people usually are, it's you have to take a small ladder to get up there, but that will be high enough to look like over the other games and see the stage area.
Yeah, Caleb's halfway climbing up because Willow wanted him to go into the dunk tank.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jimmy mentions that, so he's just going to climb a little bit higher and peek over the edge.
Okay. You peek over the edge, and indeed you do see the stage, but you don't see anyone on the stage. And actually what you see is there's a few people who are kind of like ushering a really, really old woman who you've never seen before. They're kind of like helping her like off the stage in the back area. You see security guards like running like left and right, trying to kind of corner everyone off. There's some sort of commotion happening, but there's no like sound. Like you don't hear screaming or anything. You just kind of see that there's some sort of confusion, some sort of commotion, almost as if something has started, but you don't know what started.
Corner. You said the guards or whatnot are trying to corner everyone out, like trying to keep them there or trying to usher them away?
Trying to keep them there.
Oh, That's not right.
Mildly concerning.
Yeah, Caleb's gonna like turn to Helen and it's like, she's still in the dunk tank, right?
Yeah, she was taken out and now she's just sopping wet. So I'm assuming.
Okay.
But he's in the dunk tank right now.
Yeah.
Though.
Caleb's gonna like climb down and he seems a little bit concerned. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Something's going on at the stage, man.
What do you mean?
Like, people are acting weird. And there's an old lady, and no one's like leaving, which for a dumb crabapple festival I think would be natural, but I want to go check it out.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to start going towards the stage.
Okay. You all kind of round the game that you all were just playing and come back into the center area and begin to walk your way up to the stage area. But first you have to pass the Eldera that's in the center. As you get closer, the smell of rotting apples gets stronger, and it also has a bit of a tang to it now. It kind of smells almost like metal. There's a little bit of like almost like the putrid smell of acid. And Jimmy, specifically, as you get closer, that smell immediately hits you as a memory of the time you were in the orchard and you found the green apple and it was disintegrating on the ground.
Oh, hey, guys, I don't like this. Something's not right.
It's a little bit rude, but like Caleb puts a finger up to his mouth, like, shh, don't talk. Let's not get caught. And he's gonna try to sneak around, see if he can catch what's going on without being seen.
What do the rest of you do?
Will's like kind of like just standing behind them, like slowly falling. But she's looking into the crowd, trying to see if she can, see Aunt Hildy.
Mm-hmm. You all are trying your best to get up to almost like the edge of the crowd. I will say at this point, you're probably where the Eldera is, which is unfortunately very open because this is where the place where people congregate. But now that you all are closer, you can see and hear what's actually happening here on stage. And what you see is a bit bewildering because all of the people that were here are still here. And you can and originally, Caleb, you had seen the security running around, but now the security are also looking the exact same way everyone else does. Everyone is simply standing. Just standing, kind of just almost as if they are locked in place. You can also see there are apples strewn all over their feet, like all over the ground. And it looks like maybe someone like threw apples into like the crowd, like hey, here's apples. The apples are all green. And you can see that some people have those same apples like in their hands, but their hands are slack to their side.
A new batch. What the fuck is going on, man?
Hey, the green apples again.
Are these the same apples that Willow ate and I'd seen before?
I forgot about that.
I will say if you are all sneaking up close enough to see exactly what Caleb is seeing, then yes, you'd be able to immediately identify. Number one, Caleb, you're able to identify just from like looking at it. You're going to immediately clock that this is probably the apples that they were talking about.
Yeah.
And Willow, you're going to immediately clock because you ate one, that those are the green apples you ate. And then Jimmy, you're going to immediately clock that these are the apples that you encountered when you were in the orchard many years ago. I think the only person that wouldn't quite understand the context here is Juke.
Totally oblivious.
Yeah, Juke's just kind of like, what's happening?
He's kind of along for the ride and probably like he took his like flannel shirt that he has wrapped around his waist and is focused more on like trying to dry off Helen a little bit.
Speaking of Helen obviously has no idea what's going on, hasn't even really been paying attention to you guys even sneaking, because I don't think anyone really was like, hey, we're going to sneak now. She understands you guys are going up closer to the stage, and she's kind of being drugged by Juke, but Juke is kind of in the back drying her off, and she is high on sugar. So she's just kind of like, are we going back to the dunk tank, or are we going around? Oh, what's happening on stage? She's actually talking right now to Juke, as all three of you realize that something is going on.
Caleb's gonna give Juke like a glance, like, dude, you gotta shut her up. I hate to say it, but and gonna go over to Willow. A little bit paranoid, he's like parent mode. He's like, yo, Willow, you all right? You feeling a bit weird? No,
She
no?
kind of like she was like staring at the people, still trying to like find Aunt Hildy, but a bit confused. And she's like, I mean, I'm fine. I think
You ain't
I
tired.
don't
You
I
ain't
don't
feeling
feel
sick?
I don't feel nothing.
All right. That was all right. We got a fucking problem here, everyone. I don't know what to say, but yeah, shit's fucked. He looks at like Helen. Ah, shit. Oh, oops, shit. Oh, shit. Stop. Okay.
And Helen looks at you and laughs, and she goes, shit.
Zoo.
I'll
Okay.
apologize when I feel like it. Anyway, we gotta get your dad. Wait. Willow, where's your dad?
He had to leave. He didn't come.
Okay. Yeah, mom's not gonna help with anything. Dad's probably gone. Anyone's parents didn't go to the orchard
So
or festival.
So, as you all look out into the crowd, Willow has already said that she's looking for Aunt Hildy. Who else are you all looking for? And I will tell you if they're there and who they are, and et cetera, et cetera.
I would definitely scan for my dad.
Okay.
Because he would 100% be at the stage.
Yeah. You all came with your families, but you're looking to see if they're in the stage area.
Caleb's looking for his mom, dad, and brother.
Okay.
He knows his grandpa's probably still at the retirement home.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's definitely looking for his dad and his brother.
Okay. I will say that, Willow, you immediately catch the back of Aunt Hildy because she's wearing such an interesting outfit. She's hard to miss. She is turned away from you, though, also standing just as lax as everyone else. And she has a green apple in her hand that has been, partially eaten. Everyone else, you are searching, but this is a dense crowd. You can kind of probably see Caleb, Michael, because he's kind of tall. He's also standing there, almost catatonic. You don't know if he has an apple in his hand or not, but you can kind of see that. The rest of you don't necessarily see who you're looking for, but you can kind of tell that they were probably here. And so they're probably somewhere in the crowd. Whether they're in this strange state like everybody else, that you don't know. You'd have to like get in there and try to find them. But right now, everyone is simply not moving. They're also not looking in your direction. They're all looking still towards the stage, but they are simply not moving.
How packed is the crowd?
It's pretty packed. Literally everyone, including all of the attendants, went to the stage.
How like where exactly does she see Aunt Hildy? Like, is she like on the edges, or is she like further in the crowd?
So you can see that Aunt Hildy is on the edge because she had gone to go see Vadelia. So she is underneath the She's underneath the tree. And now the crowd is pretty big, so there are more people underneath the tree, but you guys don't see Vidalia there anymore. But you do see that's where Aunt Hildy is.
She'll probably jog, but then slowly walk as she gets closer. And call out to Aunt Hildy.
Okay. You all watch Willow do this. What do you all do?
Caleb is gonna actually try to stop Willow.
Okay.
Listen, Willow, I don't know if you want to get her out or not, but whatever's going on in there is affecting everyone. It's like some kind of virus or something. Maybe it's best we leave whatever they're doing to what they're doing and we get someone who's not frozen.
What is everybody else doing?
Jimmy is starting to panic a little bit, and so he's going to try and start moving into the crowd to see if he can find his dad and his brother.
Okay. Juke, what are you doing?
I think I want to kind of pull Helen back and go back over to the tables by the train.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of keep an eye on what everybody else is doing, but right now just kind of try to get her to a, I guess, safe place because weird stuff's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in this moment of confusion and fear, you all actually begin to drift apart from one another. Willow begins to walk over to Aunt Hildy. Caleb follows Willow to try and stop her. Jimmy tries to break into the crowd to find his family. Juke, you are focused on keeping Helen safe, so you're moving closer to the train, seeing as how that's at least, made of metal, so perhaps you can get inside and that will be a safe space if something happens. And this is all happening within moments, seconds, in this time and space where you all hear nothing. You smell the rotting of apples and you see this strangeness happening on the stage. Willow, as you are getting closer to Aunt Hildy and you see Caleb, and Caleb, you're walking with her trying to explain to her that this is not a good idea, but Willow's, very frazzled, very confused. Jimmy, you walk towards the crowd. And at this point, you're all kind of getting further and further away from one another. And so, Caleb, you probably don't see Jimmy walking into the crowd, but you're kind of pushing your way in. It is dense, but you're able to push people. They don't even feel you. And you're getting in there. And then Juke, you are pulling Helen closer to the train. It still does have the velvet rope, but you're pretty sure you'd be able to just, hop under it or over it real quick if something happens. In this moment, as you're all kind of scattering, you hear a voice you have not, either you don't recognize hearing, but you also do recognize hearing. It's almost as if you have heard it at some point, but can't remember that you've heard this voice. Sounds familiar, but you're pretty sure you've never heard it. It sort of rings in each of your minds as you're all doing your separate things. And it just says, "It's happening now." And at the moment it says now, Jimmy, you see someone's head as you're kind of going through the crowd turn to look at you. And then all at once, anyone you're immediately near as you try to move your way around also looks at you. And you can surmise that now some people are at least unfrozen.
Oh.
But they have no expression on their face. They are simply looking at you as if they recognize you are moving.
I'd cut off my movement and kind of stand still, see if they react.
They do not move, but they continue to stare at you. Juke, from your area closer to the train, are you looking towards Caleb and Willow, or are you looking towards where Jimmy had started to go into the crowd?
I'll say Jimmy.
You are standing there with Helen.
I was trying to watch everybody, but since they split up, I'll keep my eyes on Jimmy.
Watch the same thing Jimmy is seeing, except for from afar. You see that some people, as he's kind of trying to cut his way through the crowd, start to look at him. You get a real bad feeling and vibe from that, just from the way you see them turn, almost as if they don't have their full faculties of their body. And you just know instinctively, this is bad. What do you want to do?
How far away am I from where Jimmy is?
I'll say with Helen, who is now at this point being quiet, but she doesn't quite understand what's happening. She just knows that, you'd like her to be quiet. Yeah, she is just sort of standing there with you, but she's not quite understanding what's happening. I'll say with her, you would be obviously very slowed down, but without her, you would probably be able to get to Jimmy much quicker, or at least to the edge of the crowd. He hasn't really gotten that far in, so you can still see him.
But like shouting distance?
Yes, yeah, he would hear you.
Okay. I think I'll take a few steps away from Helen, like gesture for her to stay where she is and just shout, Jimmy, come back.
Your voice rings out into the silence, and all heads turn towards you. But no one moves.
I want to take the opportunity as soon as their attention's off me to duck back the way it come.
You're turning back the way you came?
Yeah.
And how are you doing that? Are you trying to do that stealthily or just run? What are you doing?
I think run. I'm a short guy, so trying to duck low underneath their reach and kind of rush past their legs.
Okay. Roll flight.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be flight.
Let's make the DC 7.
1.
Thank you all for listening. We hope you are enjoying the campaign. Don't forget that you can listen to the podcast on the Aging Journey podcast website, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Links will be in the description below. Don't forget to follow or subscribe. You can also support the podcast on Patreon or join our Discord. Enjoy the journey.